bad IP address, bad URL, or bad domains, any of these three categories, it will be able to filter those connections if they are being initiated through firepower. So security intelligence does not require any license, but yes, security intelligence will only work if FMC is there. Okay, you cannot configure security intelligence when you are doing FDM. So you would have to rely on FMC in order to make your security intelligence work correctly. So there are three ways you can go ahead and add anything inside firepower which is related to security intelligence, either for IP, either for domain, either for URL. The process remains the same. Okay, it's just that what information are you adding? Are you adding bad IP addresses, bad URLs, or bad domains, depending on that. So either it is a feed service. Feed service means that third-party services which are providing you continuously updates on what is bad going on the internet, what are the bad IP addresses, bad URLs, and bad domains. And if your connection is getting initiated to any of those bad reputed IP, domain, or URL, then it would be denied. So by default, you will have Cisco Telos feeds which are available. But in case if you want to use some third-party dynamic feeds, you can do that. So in case if you have subscription with vendors such as Qualys, or vendors such as Tenegible, then you can, or even the Spam Jose subscription, then you can go ahead and add those subscription feeds into your firepower for it to work. But yeah, by default, you will get Cisco Telos feeds with firepower. The second way is list. List would be where you are uploading a list of bad IPs, bad URLs, bad domains. So you prepare a notepad file which you want to block with all the IP addresses in it, and upload that inside firepower, and then it will match against that list which you have uploaded. The third one is the best option, which is using analysis, which means that when you are analyzing any kind of logs, so if let's say I'm doing a connection analysis right now, and if I find that, okay, this connection to a URL or a connection to an IP, I don't want my user to access, then from the connection event itself, I can blacklist an IP, blacklist a URL, blacklist the domain. So if I simply right click on this IP, I have the option of either blacklisting an IP or whitelisting an IP. Same way for a particular URL, if I right click, I have the option of blacklisting that URL or whitelisting that URL. Okay, so I have that real time. I can do it when I'm analyzing the connection events. So these three ways I will be able to use security intelligence. So for IP addresses, same way for URLs, I can blacklist the URL or blacklist the domain, anything. Clear? So these are the three ways in which I can use security intelligence to get better security for my network. Security intelligence, as we have seen during the flow, is the first check. Before even getting through the access control policy, it will first check security intelligence. Okay, so it's a first line of defense which you are building against your network. Now, security intelligence, it's not that it's just a blank security intelligence with feeds, and that is only from Cisco Telos. It's not that a list of 1,000 IP addresses or 1,000 URLs or 1,000 domains will be provided to it. But what Cisco Telos will do is it will put different categories. So these are the different categories which are included with the feed services. So if you want, you can use specific category, or if you want to block all the categories of bad IPs, bad URL, or bad domains, you can do that. Okay, so it's up to you. You have that option of choosing that I want only CNC connections which are getting initiated. I don't want spam because I have a better email security appliance which is doing that part. So I don't want any spam to be IPs or URLs or domains to be detected by my firepower. So I can skip that spam category, and I can add rest of the categories. So it will, any IP addresses or URLs or domains which fall in the spam category uh, will not be used. Rest other categories will be used. So I have that control. Same thing with, as I said, that from a process flow perspective, security intelligence is the first line of defense, which means that even before your policy is getting checked, it is going to be denied. So even if you have a policy which is allowing the category of URL, which is, let's say, job search, but the URL which the user is accessing is part of a bad reputation which is getting filtered by security intelligence, it will still be denied, because security intelligence check is the first check which your firepower will be performing. Clear? Any questions on this? So it's a very easy feature, and it's a very powerful feature when it comes to protecting against something which you don't know, because access control policy is for things which you know you want to allow or deny, but something which you don't know, that is where security intelligence can play a big role in protecting. Okay, so you can, so again, these are nothing but just a kind of a representation of how the feeds are coming. So feeds are coming from Cisco Telos, okay, and it's getting sent to FMC. Then FMC is updating it inside its database and pushing that to the managed device. So finally, managed device will be getting those feeds or those list of IP addresses, whatever FMC has got for security intelligence. So in order to enable security intelligence, let's see how to enable them. It needs to be enabled. By default, it is not enabled. So you need to enable that in your policy. So the first thing is, where can I update the security intelligence feeds? So in case if, let's say, I rely on Cisco's feeds, or I want to upload certain bad IP addresses, then where do I do that? So that, or bad URL, bad domain. So again, all these things is applicable to URL domain. So I'm not going to repeat the same thing for URL or domain. It's the same process. So when I go inside object management, you will see security intelligence. Over there, you will have your IP, DNS domain, and your URLs. Okay. So for all three of them, there is a feed which is already added, which you can't delete it, which is Cisco Telos. Every 2 hours, this feed is getting updated. Okay. If you want to change the frequency, you can do that. You can even disable it if you don't want it to be updated. So you can do all these things if you like. If you want to add some third party, if you want to do it manually, you can click on this feed and it will update the feeds for you. Same thing for your DNS. Same thing for your URL. Okay, so if I click on, if I want to add a new list of feeds, I can do that. So let's say I say bad IPs. And if I select type, I have the option of feeds or list. So feeds, it will ask me the URL from where I want to download the feeds from. If it's a list, I select list and it will ask me to upload the list. Okay, so let's say I create a list, or I've been maintaining a note text file of all bad IP addresses, and I want to use that. So let's go ahead and add that inside our firepower. Mm, let me create a list with some bad IPs, and let's see. 180. Okay, sorry. 180.215.208.165. 221.208.74.72. So you can see that when you're creating your list, it needs to be on a separate line, right? Same way 5.2.75.93. And then once you have this, you save it. And you save it as a text file. Okay, and then once you have that text file, you upload that text file by selecting this option, list option, and then choosing the file which you created, the text file, which has the IP, and you click on upload. So what it will do is it will upload that to IPs inside the firepower. Yeah, 3 IPs or 2 IPs, whatever. I think I might mistakenly added another line to it. That's why it is saying 3. And I save it. Okay, so this is a custom list of IPs. Apart from the Cisco Telos one, you have created a custom list, and you are going to use this custom list of bad IPs, bad URLs, or bad domains, whatever, to block. Clear? Any questions on this? Now, once you do this, the next thing you need to do is you need to enable security intelligence in your policy. So you go to your access control policy, and if you remember, security intelligence is applied globally to an access control policy. And over here, you will add into the second tab, which says security intelligence. And you will see these are the different categories. So you have to scroll a little down. Don't keep keep it on here, because this is going to show you the same objects which are there for the network. In order for you to see the category, you have to scroll a little down, and you will see different categories which are there from Cisco Telos. So you select, you can see that we have also you can also see that bad list URL, sorry, bad IP list which is there, and you either want to whitelist it or blacklist it. Most of the times you want to blacklist it, and you put it on the right hand side. Same thing is for the URL. So under network and then URL, so you select, you don't want to block that partner site which we have created, the custom object, and you blacklist it. Okay, so if I scroll down, you can see that I have my blacklist URLs and blacklist IP. By default, the action is block, but if I want, I can also change the action to monitor, which means that if I right click, it will give me an option to change the action from block to monitor. So I can also do that for a specific category, if the IP is falling in that category, I simply want to monitor it, generate the log, but do not drop the connection. If you want to enable at a specific zone level for a device, you can do that by selecting that device and then adding it. But if you want to enable it at all the zone level, inside, outside, DMZ, or any other zones, then you keep it to the default option, which is any. And then you save it. Once you save it, you do deploy. And it would be assigned to your device. All right, so you can see that the policy is getting deployed. In order for me to verify the list of IP addresses which has been part of this database, so if I want to simply see that, oh, okay, I have some certain IP addresses which are part of this spam category. So if I just take my mouse pointer, it shows me certain IPs. Let's say, yeah, you can see that some 10,000 IP addresses which are there. So if I want to see those IP or 135 IP addresses which are there. So if I want to see the IP addresses which are part of these categories, how can I check that? Or if I want to simply verify whether my security database is updated or not, how can I do that? So if I go in the CLI of the FMC, I can go again, same way how we looked at the location, which was var sf cloud downloads. Same way, apart from cloud downloads, the location is same. It's just that IP reputation. So this is going to show me the different categories. So these are actually not going to be like very easy to decode at what category is that, but this is different categories which are there. Okay, so it's not going to show you a clear name per se, saying that, oh, okay, this is a spam category, or this is a, excuse me, this is a response category. But if I want to check the IP addresses and all, which are part of these categories, or what is the name, or what is this, which category is this, what I can do is I can use a command which is going to help me to decode that. So the command is head, and then once you type head, you take the category. So if I want to see this category, what is this? You say head. I have to go to that location actually. So I'm in that location now, and then I simply say head and that particular category. So this is a category called as crypto mining, and it shows me all the IP addresses which are part of this category. Same way, if I want to check